You can watch us live currently on our app. Today is a special day as the transition of democracy plays in hands of the Electoral College of the United Minecraft. The president has created many celebrations and victories. Things that will make him known as not the best president and not the worst president. He will be known as the middle president, quoted in a news article. The president today will either be re-elected or he will not. Countless votes coming in from all around the United Minecraft. Ballots are filling up out currently until 8 o'clock. Quote, "This is going to be a really tough one," quote, said by a Craft supporter. "In less than 2 hours, we will figure out who will be taking the oath of office next year in January. On January 20th, the Electoral College completely and finally decides who will be president. It will either be President Kraft should be re-elected, or the new presidential Republican candidate, who will obviously be Mr. Granite, who is eager to win this election, as it would have been the first time in 20 years since a Republican has won. This is your local report, and we will be with you after this commercial break. Have you ever felt like your skin and all of your skin needs lotion, but you can't find the right one? Try fordboards.com and we can give you our free version for 1 month trial for the lotion that will help your skin grow like you've never seen it before. Welcome back to your local radio show network. Those coming in from the Capitol, whether or not the president will become re-elected or the new president or the new Mr. Granite of the site will become president of the United Fake. Speculation does speak that maybe the count of votes will have to be dragged on until tomorrow morning, but it would have to be dragged on until noon tomorrow. There's only limited time for them to count electoral votes. Let's go over to Mark. Mark, what's the weather today? Yes, Sean. Today will be very, very cold and a slim chance of cold weather next year at the inauguration. A slim chance of cold weather at the next year at the inauguration, but we're hoping that it won't be very cold that day. We'll see until then. It's a very cold day today. End of the day as day of democracy, because we have slim chances of whether President Kraft will continue his reputation in the White House or Mr. Granite will become president, but we do have the final results. We are not allowed to say them until after 8:30, so we will have another 30 minutes until we can reveal who will be president of the United Fake. We do have the final results. The president of the United Minecraft will be Mr. Senator Ashton Granite. We can tell right now at the Capitol there is some speculation of workers leaving really quickly, basically because of the big victory. The president obviously in the victory or the other. Mr. Granite is from the territory of the Roosevelt, and his home territory will be given a address at his house, and we will be live then. He put in his life effort for this speech and victory, and obviously the Vice President Lapis, with President Kraft's given his own address about the victory and his loss. Search interrupts. John, we are now live in the Oval Office for the president's address. He will be giving the address of the victory and the loss. Here we are. President, today is a day of democracy towards all of us, no matter what party or what we reside on. Today we do an honor to a great senator from Roosevelt, period. While I was in the Senate, I worked deeply with this oppositionist. but we were good friends. Mr. Granite and I would disagree with many policies, but we always became good friends. I want to honor him for what he did his contributions to the war that nearly killed him 40 years ago. I believe he will be a great president, and he will run this government and country in a way it's never been before. In a good way, I believe that he will create more and more new and better laws to prevent exploitionist and corruption. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Mr. President-elect. I'll see you soon. Wow, Jean, that was the president right there. He gave a little speech, a small address at the Oval Office of how much he thinks that Mr. Granite will do during his administration. They were good friends in the Senate, actually. Didn't know that. We will probably see them more often now, or maybe it's either more often or less often, because obviously he worked with him in the Senate. With him, and he had a lot of time with him. He's probably going to Granite. All right. This is Mr. Granite. Hello, everyone. The day is a day of not victory of party, but of celebration, once said by President Kennedy. I want to use that as a quote that should be used every day and especially during the political system. I do truly to the bottom of my heart honor working with Senator Granite and President-elect Granite. With me as President-elect. He was a great man during the Senate times, and he will always be remembered. Him, the day he won against me, but I will always let him get that down to me. He was a great president. His legacy will live on forever and ever. He will, for the great things he did to the government, to the laws, and to become allies with our nations upon us, peacemaking and scandals. I do accept the complete nomination of President-elect. As I said before, I will accompany him as a great friend, and we will always be dear friends. Even though we have different proportions and policies, I do want to help everyone in need. That's what my job is that will be my job as President of the United Minecraft. We shall start today, we shall start tomorrow, and we shall always start forever. Thank you very much. John, that was the President-elect, Granite. Right there, he was just talking about how much he favored and loved his friend. Obviously, they really had a great relationship because the good friends. But yeah, Mr. President Granite actually did see the speech that the president gave at the office, and yes, these are the final counts for whom be the electoral college, these were the final counts for who won the electoral college and the popular. And yes, the electoral college did go to President-elect Granite. So these are the results of the electoral college overall. All the states were counted. There would be 100, and Mr. Granite won only one. Mr. Granite won only, let me say it clearly, he won 50%, and of it, well, President Kraft won 43.5%, and big average of Minecrafters did not vote, as you can tell. Almost 1% of the Minecraft people didn't vote. January 20th is on our way. We'll see you soon. Welcome to your local news. Reports today is a special day and the official day of power transformation. The power president will be transitioning to the President Granite in less than 4 hours till he moves in. He will be moving. His staff at the White House are not very frightened because they're getting their job done at the exact time. There is always a backup plan. So let's talk to Joanne about the backup plan. Joanne, Yes, John, the backup plan for inaugural ceremonies is always put down to the Secretary of the Committee Generals and Secretary of the Inaugural Ceremonies Committee. They will decide that the President will have to walk two times slower and than normal. John, the President, today alerted staff saying that he will miss them dearly. Quote, "Today is my last day that I will be in the powerful meetings of President of the United Minecraft. So I want to completely, on average, leave. I want to forge and thank and leave and spend time with the most I can with the people that I love the most. The most people that I cherish the most, not including my family, but also the staff that works here at the White House. I am completely honored to be able to spend my 4 years here at the White House with these beautiful people." The President just said that today, this morning, and he did say that he would miss these guys, quote, "beautiful people," quote. And it is currently 8 o'clock in the morning, and President-elect has just arrived at the White House with the President, and they will be greeting each other with hugs as the First Ladies exchange hugs and greetings. One Republican, one Democrat, walking in the same hallway without a fight. He said, quote, "just history," quote. Senator Pitt Smaller said today, the President and the President-elect walk through the doors with a gratitude retain of the audience. Speaking of the audience, the Capitol will be filled with people today, more than maybe around 100,000 to 1.9 million, quote. My bad, I meant to say people. The President and President-elect get into the limo, and they will be driving to the Capitol. Applause comes from all over the place, while the President and the President-elect drive by D.C. They will arrive at the White House. Famous leaders sent an invitation by President-elect, not across the country, but from places like Africa to Asia, to Europe to Somalia, the Central America to North America, to the Arctic to the Atlantic. The President wants this to be not a country thing, but a world thing. Formal presidential candidate and in sight arrived at the Capitol with his wife, Senator Chuck Press, Sean Baylor, their former president, rightly next to him is President Carlo, former President Nelson Bando, and distinguished guest. The Capitol is estimated currently now to have more than 1.2 million Minecrafters attending. The President and the President-elect are dropped off, and they are going to be walking, and they're currently down to the medical clinic at the Capitol, where the President will be checking up, and they will be putting in the signature of the name before he becomes president, because medically treatment is always needed and must be a priority in the case of an assassination attempt, or an assassination is reported. Obviously, we can't have cameras in there. We can't actually have the cameras inside the Capitol until the president comes down with the president-elect. And there's President Kraft and Vice President Mo. Let's tune in right now. We can hear the voice recorder from the outside. Distinguished guest, the General Secretary of the People's Republic of China, Korea, Indonesia, Asia Republics, the Honorable Tang Sheng, Mr. Bude, Mr. Dao Winpi, Shaga, and finally the President of China, Xi Jinping, the Senator, Majority Leader Mitch Horace, and the Senator of Nelson of the President's staff, the press secretary apparently is here. Yeah, that was the recorder. Apparently, a lot of people don't want to clap for the Democratic leader, but as you can tell, we are tuning in. We want to hear the part where they call the president and the president-elect and the vice president-elect, the first lady and the first lady-elect, and the vice president-elect will be coming in soon. All right, let's tune in right now. They are about to call the president-elect, but I think we are going to do about president first, and then the vice president, and then the president-elect. All right, so let's listen in right now. Distinguished guest, the president of the United Minecraft, ladies and gentlemen, the vice president and Honorable John Bowes, the vice president Mo, and finally, the Honorable First Lady-elect and First Lady Julie and Morley. And quite frankly, the president-elect, Granite. The president-elect is coming down at the Capitol today. The president will be taking the power off of him, and the new power will be sent off to the new president, which will be Granite. Listen, we're coming in right now. Apparently, they are calling in the Chief Justice Moreland. Listening right now, Mr. President-elect, may I please have you with you and your life to administering the oath of office of Vice President. To the Vice President-elect, repeat after me. I, Joseph Mo Lee, do solemnly swear. I, Joseph Mo Lee, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Vice President of the United States, and that you will defend the Constitution, I will defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign or domestic, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that you will faithfully discharge the duties of office in which you are about to enter, that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office in which I am about to enter. So help you God. So help me Lord. Applause is coming in. Yeah, as you can tell that now the vice president here was taking the oath of office. He did not say, so help me God. He said, so help me Lord. I'm not sure if that's just the reason, but we're not gonna go too much in it about his religion. Is about going into speculate too much about the vice president. And the president will becoming the president-elect Granite will be becoming president soon, and he'll be taking the oath of office after the U.S. Minecraft amendment is on. I don't know if we should let's play. Dun 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 Oh, they're about to call in the oath of office for the president-elect. Oh, okay. They're calling in the president. Will be taking the oath of office right now. As the Supreme Justice will be administering the oath of office. Now, new president-elect Granite. Mr. President-elect and First Lady, may I have you to call me today to text off of the office as President of the United States of Minecraft. Repeat after me, Mr. President-elect. I, Ashton Granite Miller, do solemnly swear. I, Ashton Granite Miller, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and will, to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help you God, so help me God. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you. This is the president right there. They're about to call the president as President of the United States of the United Minecraft. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of Minecraft. Thank you, members of the Congress, Senate Chamber, House, and Supreme, fellow officers, fellow Minecrafters, and finally distinguished guest. Today I would have loved to express my comfort to stand before you to show what the United Minecraft can do. The greatest accomplishments will be made by the greatest people, but they may not be known as the greatest people in the world, because one day one of the greatest kind will die. The next time they ever talk about the person again is after the death. It will be something good. The reputation can die, but the reputation can live on forever. I am not asking to be the greatest person, but what I'm asking is a person to be a person that will be recognized and that we can help. I don't want to be the greatest people. I want us to be the greatest people. Has been shattered by bad stuff that can't be erased. That can't erase the good stuff. The president power to do his duty to his country and for his other nations. That is what the strong and greatest does. It can see the allies of the U.S. Minecraft. We'll stick up together to defeat enemies and maybe even become allies. We can never be like we have been before. We shall defend our country against enemies of all predator trade. Our trademarks are great, and we are going to build an economy much better than the 1980s. We will have more of an industry that will be more remarkable for its achievements and not because of its failure. Even though we have failure, but it will be small failure. Accomplishments will be big. We will accomplish a lot. This union was one struck by disaster after a country nearly split apart. Of our predecessors, we fight so much about stuff that we can't fight it. If in the world we are going to fight with anyone, they want to have to fight together. A country needs to unite together to defeat the enemy. A country of freedom, we must stand united together with freedom, equality. And then we can take down the bad guy, as I administered the oath of office. From my predecessor is the successor. Want to say that he was a great man, Mr. Kraft, Mr. Former President Kraft, with me every day, behind me every single day, in the slugger in the Senate, passing bills that we disagreed on completely but we were both Democrats and Republicans. We can still walk the same hallway of not even fighting. We're not Democrats and Republicans. We are united Minecrafters. This country was even more divided with the Republicans and the Democrats, and I want to show you that we can be together if we one day can figure out a way to settle an economy with both agreements and not disagreements. Even though if you're not even here to follow that, what we're countries of bears. Bears in the country of the 3 bears that came up with the idea, with the reputation of a good life. They became the posterous fathers of the nation. Our country of liberty will always stay strong no matter what the government says, no matter what the Senate or the Congress has to say. You are free to your opinion unless you're not breaking the law. We will have laws. We will change and remove all unequal laws, especially with my fellow officers. I know we do have a lot of trouble, but we will pass a law that helps us know that we are under protection, not under safe and unsafeness against the police officers. That's their duty to help us and protect us. Our country faces a struggle completely out of the blue. A national economic tax reform be in place for all classes. You know that you is going to be more expensive. It's going to be all taxes is going to be for more expenses for the wealthy. But it's not going to be that much because we want to have an equal for all of classes. We will reduce tax reform by the end of the year, and I'm telling you now that I'm telling you not a lie, but an accomplishment in a goal that I will want to achieve by the end of the year. Hopefully, our Congress can hopefully pass bills that achieve the more ranking of taxes reduced by the end of the year. We want to be our presidency, not my presidency, but not my presidency, but our presidency will live in a reputation and a legacy of equality for all classes of people and the economic strength. I want to tell my predecessors, I want to thank them dearly for what they've done to the United States administration. I want to thank all national, international leaders that came to celebrate the economic, global, and political success. We will live on with our allies, and we will be a peaceful country with the engagement of the United States. Thank you very much, and I want to thank everyone here. I will see you all later very soon. Thank you very much. That was the President address right there, and I will see you soon.